Yeah. Hello, collective. Come on in. Come on in. Today, we are continuing our third party influence series. We are talking about those monitoring spirits that come in the form of those damn exes. You know what exes I'm talking about? Those ex-boyfriends, those ex-girlfriends, those ex-husbands, those ex-wives. And before you say, well, he's the father of my children, or she's the mother of my children, let's not deflect, detract, or deny here. You know what I'm talking about. I am not talking about healthy co-parenting. If you have children, you are going to have communication with your ex. I would hope so. If for nothing else, for the sake of those children. You are going to have parental coordination. You are going to be cordial and amicable with each other. Hopefully, you can even be friends. That is emotional maturity on both sides. That is not what I am talking about, and you know it. You all know what I'm talking about. I am talking about when you have not gotten that damn ex romantically out of your system. I am talking about when the relationship has ended, but your ex is still very present and is still very immersed in your life and still has a very pervasive presence in your day-to-day existence. Ooh, this one hits home. Folks, at this point, I have lived long enough to know that it is not just about co-parenting. I have seen this movie before. I have heard my gray hairs. It usually shows up as emotional loyalty to the ex, unresolved resentment, financial ties that are still very messy with each other, unfinished conversations that keep resurfacing, or still venting to the ex about your current life, or still seeking emotional comfort from your ex, or still reacting to your ex like the relationship never really ended. And all of these have led to not establishing the proper closure necessary in order to move on to a new romantic relationship. At least not move on to a new romantic relationship in a healthy manner. Now, if these dynamics are taking place, my friends, in my opinion, there's been no closure at all to the old relationship. In fact, we can't even call it the old relationship. It is still very much the current relationship. That is third party attachment, my friends. Dang. This is just another example of the third party influences dictating pace in the relationship. Check it out. You can be divorced on paper and still be married emotionally. Let's just say you were not married anymore. You can be broken up in theory. But all of your movements, even if you're not married, let's just say you were together, you shacking up or whatever. But all of your movements demonstrate that you are still very much in cahoots with each other. You can say, well, we're done. We're done. We are done. But if their opinion still carries weight, if their mood still affects your mood, if their validation still matters, then they still have a full access pass to your life. And if your ex still has full emotional access to you, that means that your new boo never will. If the ex still occupies all of the space in the person's life, then the new boo coming in simply gets the leftovers. Folks, some people are not necessarily even still in love with their ex. They are still in pain. And that pain can tie you to someone just as tightly as the love, the toxicity, dysfunction, drama, chaos, burdens, and codependent dynamics can actually still be the ties that bind you both together. And you have gotten very accustomed to that familiar pain. And you simply cannot let go. There is an old saying, either let go or get dragged. Sometimes for our psyche, I've been there. Call me Exhibit A. It is easier, more comfortable, and even more familiar to stay in the toxic bond, even when the relationship has been destroying you, the both of you. It is like that old Gladys Knight in the Pips song. Neither one of us want to be the first to say goodbye. It is the devil we know. Ooh-wee! If every story about your ex still carries heat, you are still explaining. Ooh, man, if you were still explaining how wronged you were, how that ex did you dirty over the course of the relationship, if their betrayal is still fresh in your voice, you, my friend, are not healed. You are still processing the old relationship. And guess what? Your new boo will end up absorbing all the old wounds that they did not create. You will end up leaking all of the residue from that old relationship all over the new partner. Whew. Now, let's go just a little bit deeper. This one is subtle, but very serious. We're going to always talk about this. Let's dive into the codependent dynamics. Folks, if your first call when things go wrong in your life is still to your ex, if the ex is still your emotional sounding board, if you are still sharing personal details about your daily stress or your current dating life with your ex, that is not just communication. That, my friends, is emotional intimacy. It may not be romantic, at least not on paper, but it is emotional closeness. There is a difference between respectful communication as co-parents and emotional intimacy and dependency. If the ex still has emotional influence, psychological access, or priority in your life decision making, then the new relationship is constantly negotiating against the ghost. Woo-wee! And ghosts come with history and residue. Folks, here is the plain truth. A new romantic relationship cannot fully begin until the previous one has fully ended. I don't care what anybody says. This is true, mature closure. The key term is mature closure. Because if your ex still has emotional access to you, your new partner never fully will. So I'm not even going to spend a whole lot of time on this one, because if we're still dealing with this third-party influence, dating after 50 in the third quarter, this, my friends, this ain't even a red flag. If you're gonna be dealing with this is automatic deal breaker. We shouldn't even be dealing with this at this age and stage. I ain't spending a whole lot of time on this. This is a quickie right here. So let me leave you with this. At this stage of life, after 50, we do not have the time to be half detached and half available. We do not have the time to be building new relationships on top of old emotional baggage. And we definitely do not have the time to be competing with ghosts. Those ghosts being those damn exes. If someone still is emotionally entangled with their ex, that doesn't make them evil, don't make them a bad person, but it does make them not fully available for a relationship. At least not with me. I don't know about you. And unavailable people should not be trying to enter new romantic relationships. And furthermore, if you are the one still holding that door open for your ex, even just to cry, then be honest with yourself and that mate or prospective mate. Are you really ready for partnership, or are you looking for diversions and distractions from unhealed and unresolved pain? Because love requires emotional availability. Partnership requires emotional presence. And maturity requires emotional closure. You cannot build something solid with one foot still standing in yesterday. You cannot build a future with someone while still looking in the rearview mirror. Because guess what? You check the rearview mirror on your car? That rearview mirror says objects are closer than they appear. Sweet. So how close is that ex to you? Still in your life? Really? That applies to men and women. Ain't no gender wars here. No gender wars on this channel. I don't roll like that. No blame games here. Just grown people adulting, doing grown folk reflection. Grown folk being grown folk on this here channel. If the ex still has a full access pass to your life, you, my friend, are not ready for another romantic relationship. If the ex still has total influence over your life choices, you are not available. And if the ex is still, let me take my time with them. Third party influences. If the ex is still the priority in your life, you, my friend, are not done. And I'm not judging. It's okay. But let's be grown and call it what it is. So you give everybody their power of choice. Feel, deal, heal. Close the cycle up properly. Then, and only then, is when you should be stepping into something new. And then you can step into it with a clean mind, body, and spirit. Folks, at this stage of life, peace is not optional. Are you bringing peace or are you taking peace? Clarity is not optional. And emotional freedom is not optional. Protect your peace. Honor yourself and your mate or prospective mate. Wave the white flag. Tell you about my white flag. Apply total closure and let that damn ex go. So, continue being the best version of yourself today, and then doing the work to get even better tomorrow. Feel, deal, heal, protect your peace. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching. This is GBIC Relationship University, the Relationship Problems channel, where we find relationship solutions and get better together. Be blessed, everyone.